Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando. Today we're talking about mortgage forbearance and what's going on in that world of forbearance, especially with everything that is happening in COVID. And guys, especially for landlords and multifamily, it's getting a little tough out there, but this is the plan and relief that the government is coming up with. So let's kind of go over the news here. Basically what this is saying is that multifamily forbearance has been extended indefinitely. This seems like a crazy premise, but let's see what it says here. It says multifamily property owners who are struggling to make mortgage payments due to the COVID-19 pandemic now will have access to forbearance programs indefinitely in the case of loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and Federal Housing Finance Agency announced today. Now, here's the thing with this, guys, is what they're basically saying is that they're saying that you as a property owner, if you are backed by these government loans, that you will be able to get into these forbearance programs indefinitely. That means that they don't have a date that they not allow individuals to get into the program. This is a little bit of dangerous ground for me because, even though I totally understand what's going on with the whole rental situation as far as tenants not paying rent, and the eviction moratorium, that portion has ended, but that still hasn't ended all of the rents that tenants haven't paid. So you want to also give some type of program or some relief to landlords. But this is one thing that I do want to talk about and let everyone know when it comes to forbearance. Forbearance does not mean that you will not have to pay back the loan or interest that is incurred during that period. So a lot of times what a lot of people don't understand is that when the forbearance ends, you normally owe all of that money back all at one time. It is not a reworked loan. It is not a situation where they take all of the money that you owe during that forbearance and put it into the back of the loan. You owe it at the end of the forbearance. So if you had a big multifamily building and you owe $10,000 every month and you extended it, you did a forbearance for 8 months, that's $80,000 that you would have to pay at the end of that forbearance all at once. You can see how troublesome that is. But let's go ahead and continue. Forbearance options for multifamily mortgages backed by the GSEs, which are government loans basically, were set to expire September 30th, but the FHFA has extended until needed. On October 1st, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will continue offering COVID-19 forbearance to qualified multifamily owners unless otherwise instructed by FHFA, but landlords must. Now, here's the thing. We're going to go into the eligibility situation. Obviously, they're not going to allow you to get into these programs unless they have some rules set. And you can bet your butt that a lot of these rules are going to be set on what you can do with your renters, your tenants, right? So let's jump into that. But landlords must inform tenants in writing about tenant protections available during the property's owner's forbearance and repayment periods, and agree not to evict tenants solely for non-payment of rent while the property is in forbearance. Now, here is the thing about that, guys. You have tenants that are not paying you, right? Now you have to let the tenants know. I am in a forbearance agreement, and these are the rules of the forbearance, basically saying that I cannot evict you based on you not paying me. Now, the problem that I have with that is, and this isn't all tenants or all renters, is you're now giving the rent to tenants who have not paid you more incentive not to pay you. You're letting them know I'm in a situation to where you don't have to pay me because I'm in a program that says you don't have to pay me. You know what I mean? And then let them know that these are the protections that basically say I cannot evict you because you are non-paying. That is what you have to do. And I just feel as a landlord and a property owner myself, that is a backward situation. I understand that they're trying to protect the renters and the tenants, but you're also putting me in a predicament where I can continue to get that non-payment. And when this forbearance ends, I'm going to owe you a big check at the very end, and I still may not even have received my money from the tenants. what's going to happen then? And then it says eligible landlords must also allow tenants flexibility to repay back rent over time and not in a lump sum. Oh man, this is rough. Not charge the tenants late fees or penalties for non-payment of rent. Woo. And give the tenants at least 30 days notice to vacate. So not only do I have to give you all the rules, tell you not paying me, but I can't charge any late fees. I have to accept financing the individual for them to pay me back the rent that they already owe me. And then it says I have to give at least a 30-day notice to vacate, which isn't a big deal, but if you haven't received your rent and you're in this program, it just kind of contradicts itself when it says you cannot evict someone solely off of non-payment. So if they're doing everything else, like not tearing up the property, not causing any disruptions or anything like that, and all they're doing is not paying you rent, you can't evict them anyway. So, so this is a tough program. And I know a lot of people will look at it and be like, man, this is going to really help you out. But I think this program's really sets you back if you accept it. And then it says that the acting director of the program said in a statement that the fourth extension announced today is due to uncertain natures of this pandemic. FHFA is taking further action to protect renters, property owners, and the mortgage market. Now, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's all perspective, and I understand where she's coming from that being the rep for that agency. But let's go ahead and finish off this article. It says, while we have seen only a few loans start a new forbearance program recently, we remain positioned to support the market and renters who may be impacted by the unpredictability of the pandemic going forward. And then it says, in a single family mortgages, the U.S. forbearance rate decreased last week to 3%. Now that's great. I mean, but once again, we're running into a situation where that number can be a little bit skewed, guys, because that 3% that they're talking about, individuals applying for the forbearance. And I think a lot of single family people who, that these are their primary homes have understood that a lot of these programs are requiring you to pay the money back in lump sums, and you do not want to jump into that program. So this program here for multifamily will do the exact same thing. And then it says, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, single family loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that were in forbearance dropped 5 points to 1.47. The data shows that exits remain elevated compared to requests and re-entries last week. However, during the last 15 months, 16% of exits were borrowers who did not make their monthly payments and did not have a loss mitigation plan. So what does that mean? And this is how data can be skewed sometimes. It is basically saying that at the end of the day, 16% of those exits were because they couldn't make that lump sum payment that we were talking about. So 16% of people who entered the program are now stuck. They basically couldn't follow through with the lump sum, and now that their property is either going to be foreclosed on or something like that is going to happen. And so that is what I'm talking about, guys. When you decide to get into these type of programs, you have to look at the fine print, and these banks won't help you look through the fine print. They're going to say, do you want it or do you not want it? And it's your decision. And the reason why they don't want to go into the details is because a lot of times the programs are forced upon them by the government, especially for this pandemic, and they don't want to be on the hook for telling you to take it or not take it. And if you take it based on them telling you a reason to take it, then they could be liable for telling you the wrong thing. So they want you to do the research and basically kind of hang yourself if you go ahead and take it. So once again, guys, I hope you got value out of this content. I'm gonna need you to check out this next video here. It will help you get into real estate and your first rental property, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.